Hello and welcome to BIHC online practical courses. Today I'd like to follow on from deboning the chicken and show you how to make a ballotine from the chicken leg. So what I intend to do today is bone out the chicken, lay it flat. We're going to fill it with a stuffing of mushrooms and spinach, and we're going to roll it in spinach and then serve with some vegetables and some chicken jus. So, as always, the first thing we do is always sharpen our knife. We need a nice sharp knife. And when we're boning out the chicken leg, the first thing, let me just show you, you can just we're going to just quickly take off the skin, which should just pull off. You may need to give it a little bit of help down here. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to take that bit there off. As you can see, the chicken leg is like our elbow. It has a little bone here. So when we're boning the chicken leg out, we're going to go down there on top of the bone, and then down there, and then we're going to take out the bone. Okay? So the first thing we do, we find, and if you just take this little bit out first. Sometimes when you bone the chicken, there's still a little bit of bone left. Okay, so you can see the bone starts there. So what we need to do with our small knife is give it a little snick there, just to open up so we can see where we're going. So we've opened it like that, and then we're just going to carry on cutting down the bone like so. As you can see where the middle is here. So we're just going to keep going, prising it away with the point of the knife, and then try and get underneath. And we need to scrape the bone so we can get as much meat off as we can. We want to have the meat on the chicken and not left on the bone, as you can see there. So then let's go to the other side and do pretty much the same there. And just keep cutting around. And then underneath. And we just cut down there and scrape off any meat that we have there, so we have a nice clean bone. And just now, we just need to carefully cut around until we can release the bone from the flesh, as you can see. And there you have a little bit of bone there. So try and get the point of your knife inside just to cut that away. Take your time, we'll be patient, and we'll get it off. You can also see here, there's some sinews here that we need to take away as well, like that. So just keep snicking, and we'll keep going and going and going till we've got off the chicken bone there. And as you can see, you can just pull that off like that. This we can reserve, and of course we can use that for chicken stock. Now, there we have the flesh of the meat, or we have the boned out chicken leg. What we're going to do now is start to build up the roulade. Now, to save time today, I've got a few things already made, which I will explain as we go along. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, just have a little clean down there. We're going to put some plastic or cling film onto the chopping board, because the plastic is going to hold everything together. So we put the plastic on the board like that. Then what I did earlier to save time, which is something that everybody knows how to do, I blanched or pre-cooked some spinach leaves. Now you can use spinach, you can use kale, you can use cabbage even if you want. Any leaf vegetable. Okay? I blanched or pre-cooked the spinach for 10 seconds. No more. Just enough just to soften it so it will be flexible when we roll the chicken in a little minute. If you don't blanch it first, it will be too hard and you will not be able to roll the chicken. So we've got some leaves of spinach, and you need to make sure there's enough spinach to cover the chicken. So if we need a little bit more, we can put a little bit more on. Better have more than less. Okay, so then what we do, we put the chicken leg on top of the spinach. As you can understand, the spinach will be on the outside when we roll it. Then, as we always need to do, we're going to season. A little bit of salt on the chicken and a little bit of pepper. Again, to save time, what I did earlier was make a little filling here, which is basically some sauteed shallots. We saute in butter. I add some mushrooms and some of the spinach leaves. Now, you can use whatever filling you want. I think mushroom is good, as long as you try when you cook it long enough so it dries, so all the liquid evaporates. Otherwise, it will become too wet. So we're going to take our mixture, and then we're going to carefully place it in the middle of the chicken. So when the chicken is ready, that should show up in the middle. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to roll it. Now, just start to help it a little bit like that. Then we're going to take the plastic, okay, and then we're going to carefully roll it like so. Now, we need to make sure when we roll it, we get it as tight as possible to give us a good shape. So the way we do this, take these things out of the way. The way we do this, once we've got it rolled in the plastic, we're then going to roll it again. Keep rolling and hold the ends of the plastic so it goes tighter. Go roll and hold, roll and hold. Okay? So then hopefully when we cook it, it will keep its shape. Okay? Now, the next important thing is we're going to cook it. But we need to poach it very, very gently. So we need the water just below boiling point. Okay, so that's boiling. It needs to be around about 80 degrees, okay? So we're going to place it in the water with a lid on, and we're going to forget about that for about 1 hour. So it takes about 1 hour to cook, and then it needs approximately 10 minutes to rest once it's cooked. Now, to save time, I have one already made here, as you can see. Now I need to move my chopping board just to change the chopping boards over. I have one already made. Now this I cooked earlier. Again, I cooked it for an hour or so. And I let it rest for 10 or 15 minutes. Whenever you cook meat, you must always let it rest. Let it relax so all the juices go back into the meat. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take it out of the plastic that we cooked it in. Now, on this one, I probably put a lot of plastic, so just try and be careful when you're taking the plastic off that you don't break the Ballotine. So nice and carefully, like so. Now what I also suggest we do, I've got some paper towels here. We're just going to take a paper towel just to dry the chicken a little bit. Otherwise we're going to have too much juice. Okay? Now we have a little clean. Now, what we need to do now is start to get our mise en place ready and organized to put the dish together. Now, what I have here, again, already pre-made. These are things that you will all know how to make. I blanched a little bit of broccoli for 10 seconds, or 15 seconds, and we're going to warm it in some butter and fry it in a minute. I have some little shallots I roasted and some little baby tomatoes. So what I intend to do now is quickly heat up the vegetables in a pan with a little bit of butter, like so. Remember, it's already cooked, so all we're doing is heating up. Also, for decoration, I made some little parmesan crisps. Basically, this is just parmesan cheese placed on an oven tray and baked in the oven for about 6 or 7 minutes till it goes crispy, and we sprinkle on top some poppy seeds. It's just going to be a decoration in a moment. Okay, so we've got the butter melting. I'll give it some more flame. Then we're going to add the vegetables inside like that to heat them. As always, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So we're going to heat them like that. I will also add the broccoli, but I don't want to overcook the broccoli, so we're just warming them through, nice and gently, like that. That's good. Now, meanwhile, I also made a nice chicken jus from the chicken bones that we made, that we boned the chicken out in a previous class. So I roasted the bones in the oven. I took them out. I added them to a mirepoix. You all know what a mirepoix is: carrots, onions, celery, and leeks. I add a little bit of tomato puree and some water, and I cooked for about 2 hours. We then strained all the vegetables and the bones out, and then we reduced the chicken jus to make the flavor concentrated. Okay? So if we've got 2 liters of chicken stock to start with, we want to reduce to about half a liter, 500 milliliters. The longer we reduce it, the better, or the more concentrated the flavor is going to be. Just to add some more flavor to the jus, here I have some butter, some softened butter. I'm going to carefully whisk it inside the sauce. This process is called monter au beurre. It's a French technique that we were always taught. It will add a shine to the sauce, and it will also slightly thicken the sauce. Okay? So this is monter au beurre. And as you can see, we have a nice glazed, shiny sauce there. Now, what we need to do is start to put everything together. And I also, just to add, I have here a little bit of carrot puree, just to give it another dimension. I cook some carrots in some butter and water, and then for about 20 minutes, and then I just liquidize, and I put in the squeezy bottle here to have everything ready for decoration. So, the moment of truth, we're going to open the roulade, or the Ballotine. I think what we do, just for decoration, we cut off the ends just to give us a better look, like that. And then we cut down the middle like so. So then you can see how it's actually, the stuffing is inside. Now, I think for decoration purposes, we're going to put the chicken on the plate like that. Then, what I would like to do with the carrot puree is just put a few little dots around the plate like so. Then we take the heated vegetables and we're going to place those around too, like so. So first we have the roasted shallots. We're going to put a little bit of broccoli around, like so. I happen to have these today. Okay. Then, what I'd like to do is carefully pour on the sauce around like so. Making sure not to spill it around the edge of the plates, and if we do, obviously we're going to clean that down with a piece of paper. Then we finish with, we take the parmesan crisp we made. I've also got here some little mustard cress that we can sprinkle around just to give it that extra dimension, just for decoration, like so. And that is the finished dish. So there we have a ballotine of chicken with stuffed with mushrooms and spinach, decorated with baby vegetables and a parmesan crisp.